Hello, folks. It's Trevor back with Trevor's to Tell the Truth, video number 3 on the Big Ridge Park hauntings. We've talked about a lot in the first couple videos: the history of the park, the hauntings, and the murders, the two murders, and a lot of disturbances, a lot of cemeteries, graves, mounds where Indians were buried. A lot of things to really stir up a lot of spirits back there to cause some of these. That's a couple of violent murders. Um, and there was also in 1935, sheriff of Union County, Hutchison, O.B. Hutchison. He lived there. He got a call and went to the call, which was on a bridge up the road from his house there, and he gets gunned down and killed by the bad guys. So, it's just more tragedy. Um, of course, then the park opens approximately 1935 by the TVA, who built and or had CCC's build, and they opened and they operated Big Ridge State Park until 1949 when they turned it over to the state of Tennessee, and so the state started running the park in 1949, and things were relatively quiet. Like I said, until my dad and my grandfather trailblazed the Ghost House Trail and disturbed and got all that started again. And then there were sightings. There were things saw and heard at the park, mostly in the area around the Ghost House Trail, the group camp area. Maston would be seen. My grandfather saw him. My dad, a lot of the maintenance workers, park visitors. Like I said, remember Maston was a very big man, very tall man, about 6'7", and he'd have on like maintenance pants and a lot of times a red flannel shirt or a maintenance jacket on. Sometimes he'd have a dog with him, and he would be seen back there. Uh, you would be on the trail and an old Model A car, you could hear it come right by you, but you wouldn't see it. You just hear it. You could hear livestock, cows mooing, etc. And, there's no more farms back there. You could hear wagons coming down the road as you were walking. You could see people carrying lanterns through the woods when you're hiking back there. You can feel tugs at your hair or your shirt or your pant legs as you're walking through there. I would like to take a stick with me when I walk the trail, and the stick would get kicked. Kept go around the first time that it happened, and so I just tossed the stick. It's just a walking stick, a limb that I'd found, and when I came off the trail, the stick was leaning against the fence there at the parking lot next to my car, and that just continued to happen through the years. My grandfather, who was park ranger, would be patrolling and would see someone on the point over next to the grist mill fishing at night, and he would walk around to get over there. Every time he got over there, there'd be no one there. One particular night, when my grandfather was patrolling the grist mill, he saw a little girl at the grist mill. Fall of the year, cool weather. He got out of his truck. The little girl put a jacket on her, and he turned around to radio it in. And when he turned back around, no little girl there, no more. Just so many strange happenings, hearings, sightings. Me and my cousins were back there one day, and we were just young teenagers, and we were trying to provoke. I don't recommend this. I did it then, but we were trying to provoke the spirits, ghosts, Maston, whoever does the haunting back there. And sure enough, we got it. we heard something right at the edge of the woods next to the cemetery. I mean, and we just started being bombarded and pelted with rocks and sticks and hearing all these noises and sounds, and I had to grab my cousin Dawn, which was about 5 years younger than me, and put her on my back, and me and my other cousin Shane, we literally ran out of the cemetery on the Ghost House Trail. I mean, it really, really rattled us. And we were, like I said, we were young teenagers. But we went back to the park office and filed a report on it. I mean, it was real. I mean, it was there. And then at night, you can you see and hear strange things, and you can feel the thing. This is just things that I have personally experienced. Uh, Several people have seen literal figure of a man back there. People standing or walking back there. One particular thing that I find really interesting is at night at the graveyard, there's trees all around, but then there's an opening up at the top. But you can look up at the sky and you can see it's like shooting stars, but it's shooting lights, different colors. Like we call it the dancing lights at BigRidge. And it's really a sight to see. And you can actually see it from the ridge up above the park a lot of nights. So there's a lot of stories out there. Every time I go back there, I experience or hear something. You can be back there and you can hear the. I told you Maston had a blacksmith shop. You can be back there and hear the cling cling of blacksmith working back there. So don't take my word for it. If you don't believe me, or if you do believe me, and you just want to experience it yourself. Take you a hike back there to this best. I recommend any time of the day or night you can go back there. But I like going in about dusky dark right before, and then coming out at dark and staying back there and do respect. I've had people go back there and actually lay in Maston's grave when Maston's grave is sunk in. His grandson Paul Hutchison would try to we went back there after Maston was buried and put dirt in his grave, and it would always just keep sinking back in. Of course, they say that's where Maston is not there. He got out. He come out of there. But it's just an interesting area back there, and it's just take your time and listen and be open minded. And I've took several back there that's not believed and done stuff like that and get in that grave, or maybe disrespect, and maybe nothing happened right then at the cemetery or on the grave or on the trail or anything. But after they go home, or cabin guests that come back to the cabins, or then that's when he will appear, and the hauntings will the spirits will follow you home, which I had that happen to me too, and be haunted, and you won't sleep good for. The one guy that laid in the Maston's grave, he says he still has nightmares, and he still has problems sleeping from doing that. Said it was a stupid thing to do, and it is. And so, but it is interesting. A lot of people's interested in it. We've got Halloween coming up before long, so maybe y'all make a trip to Big State Park and do a little exploring. And I hope you enjoy it and have fun, and be safe, and hope you enjoying these videos. Thank you. Bye-bye.